Good morning. How are you guys? I have a question for you. Have you ever had a fear of being judged? I have. I've had a lot of fears, but definitely I have had a fear of what will people think about me or what will people say? What if people judge me or judge my motives or whatever? Have you all felt that way? For sure, right? Especially in this journey. So I wrote down here, grab your pen and paper, 10 blessings that come from criticism or 10 blessings that come from the judgment of others. Say what? Let's do it. Number 1, perfect your love walk. We know that perfect love casts out fear, right? And I just find that our fears are so self-focused. It's pride in disguise. We're trying to protect ourselves, right? And so when we focus instead on our love for others, it moves the needle past our fears. I think of my very first Plexus post. I was able to make that post because in that moment, my what if in my heart for a person on the other side of the screen that I didn't even know, I thought, what if there's somebody out there that could be touched by these products? My love for that person superseded my fear of what the naysayers might say. I was motivated by love. Your love can trump your fear, right? So this is an opportunity when you're wrestling with a fear of judgment, or maybe you have been criticized and you're wrestling with that. This is an opportunity where you can say, hey, I get to grow my love walk. How great is that? You get your eyes off yourself and into the lives and hearts of others, and that will move you forward. Number 2, humility. Anytime you have a critic, anytime you are judged by others, anytime you have a setback in any way, really, it's an opportunity to work on humility, right? It may not be what you want to work on, but the fruit of humility is beautiful and something that we all should be striving for, right? And so dealing with the judgment or the criticism of others really does help ensure that we stay humble. And that's beautiful. And it's to be something that we can be grateful for. Number 3, define your identity. Whose approval are you living for? One of the very first times that I received harsh criticism after I began to jump into this business, I had to walk through an exercise and I wrote down the names of people that had hurt my feelings by what they said or did after I joined this journey. And next to their name, I wrote down, how do I know them? And next to that, I made myself write down why their opinion of me matters so much. And it was interesting what I found out about myself. And really, I didn't love it. But it was necessary for me to go ahead and pinpoint the root so I could deal with it, uproot it, and get rid of it. And it was also opportunity to ensure that the Lord is the one that defines my worth and defines who I am. Who am I living for? The applause of man or the applause of one? Number 4, it'll give you direction for how to show up. Risk takers are the history makers, right? Only if you take a risk and you continue to execute it are you going to see your life change. It's a necessity. You have to be willing to take risks. But when I faced criticism, it helped to shape how I wanted to show up on social media. Now, sometimes I've messed up. Listen, I have made passive-aggressive posts to my haters. And I regret it, and I'd encourage you just not to do that. And so it has been good practice for me then to take a deep breath and decide, who am I posting for? Am I posting for that mama on the other side of the screen that is so tired and needing a nap every day and she's praying for answers to her health? Or am I posting for the person who said blah, 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 and I want to prove them wrong? Am I showing up with a, homegirl, nope, you can't say that. Let me just tell you why you're wrong. Or am I showing up with love and compassion for the people that need this? This is such a good practice to really determine who are you posting for. And so I remember when a shift came to my heart as I was wrestling and working through words that had hurt my heart, criticism and judgment that had stabbed me right where it hurts. I made a decision. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show up on social media in such a way that they're going to miss me. Those that unfriended me or blocked me, they're going to miss me and they're going to come back. And they did. I think just about every person that I might have walked through, I'm trying to think, this is 7.5 years ago, but just about every single one came back around with a friend request and has come back around ordering the products. How fun is that? But it really did help me define, like, how am I going to show up? It was really, truly a gift. I can think of one post in particular that a friend got a bit sassy with me in the comments, and it hurt my feelings. But looking back, she was right. The way I posted that day, it wasn't true to myself. I was just jumping in with excitement and copying and pasting posts and graphics and was going bonkers. And it put me in check really quick that I had to make sure, is this how I want to show up? You know, it was a blessing. It hurt, yes, but it helped to shape my business going forward. Okay, what number are we on? Number 5, practice keeping an unoffendable heart. What would you look like if you were unoffendable? I think about this all the time because offense comes knocking on our door every day, right? Whether it's right in our home, in our relationships within our house, or in our friendships, in our workspace, whatever, there's opportunity to be offended and to harbor resentment against another person. But what would we look like if we were unoffendable? Can you imagine how attractive that would be? I want to get to a place where I'm unoffendable, where words can come and the love that's inside me for my fellow man and the love that's inside me from the Lord himself, just like, what would it be called? Repels their darts? I don't know. I just picture that the darts come and they just bounce off. And then I just stay smiling. Like, oh, I just love you so much. Okay, number 6. Determine your worst case scenario and your best case scenario and strengthen your vision. So this is maybe silly, but it's something I do. So for instance, recently I was working through a massive fear of public speaking. And so I would take myself through, what's the worst case scenario? What are you actually afraid of? I really wasn't sure. I was just scared. But I just allowed myself to think, well, what are some things that could happen? I could trip on the stage. And if so, what would happen? I can laugh. Let's just laugh at myself. Cool, check, got that one done. All right, what if I stutter? Because sometimes I stutter or I say silly things or I just mess up. Well, great. Then someone in the audience can say, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. You know, I had to just kind of work through oh, even in the worst case scenario, I'm going to be okay. And hopefully it's encouraging to somebody else. So work through the worst case scenarios. I had to do this even with my special needs son. And it might sound really horrible what I walked through, but literally, you guys, I had to go ahead and confront fear of death in his journey. But in that, I realized even in that, I have the victory. And in conquering that fear, does it mean it won't hurt? No. But I conquered the fear of it, realizing even the worst case scenario is an amazing scenario. I have an eternity to spend with him with a healed body. That's pretty amazing. So even in the hardest circumstance, I can still live victoriously. And you can too. So what's the worst thing that can happen if someone judges you? Pinpoint it and realize you're still going to live and you're still fine. In fact, you can be if you choose. You can be better off for it. Better instead of bitter, right? But also determine your best case scenario. So when I was brand new at all this, and there were friends that didn't say nice things, sure, I pinpointed the worst case scenario, but I also got to pinpoint what's my best case scenario. What if I persevere through this and we see our dreams come true? And imagine, what if I hadn't done that? I don't even know where we'd be today. But because I did, our entire world has changed. Our family has changed. Our lifestyle has changed. Our ability to give to others has changed. Literally everything in my life has changed. Number 7, select who you will receive counsel from. Okay? Not from your critics. Look for people that are in life where you want to be. Get your counsel and direction from them, not from the naysayers on the other side of the keyboard, right? So we look for who has the finances that we desire to have. Okay, let's get financial advice from them. Who has the lifestyle that we desire to have? Okay, cool. Let's get advice from them. Who has a strong marriage? Let's get marital advice from them. Who is great at raising their children and the fruit is there? Let's get counsel from them. You don't need counsel from your critics, from the negative Nancy's spewing things your way or judging you up and down. Choose who to get counsel from and choose wisely. Number 8, strengthen your foundation. I had to determine what I was standing on. If you're built on sand, the storms are going to come knocking and you're going to be washed away. So one of the best things that happened when I received criticism very early in my business is it forced me to make sure I was standing on solid ground. I had some very broken prayers on my floor with the Lord of just like, Lord, are you calling me to do this? Because this feels hard and this is painful and it's uncomfortable and people have hurt my feelings. But if you're saying to do this, I know I can do it. I know you'll see me through, but I have to hear from you. Is this what you're calling me to do? If so, I've got it. But if not, I'm out. So please make it clear. Like I had to make sure I was standing on the rock because that way the next time hurtful words came or negative circumstances came or someone quit or a subscription was turned off or whatever, I knew it'd be fine. Why? Because I was standing on the solid rock. I was built on a firm foundation. I knew I was meant to do this. It was inside me so much you couldn't have cut it out of me, and you still can't today. Okay, what number are we on? Number 9. Your consistency builds your credibility. So go ahead and be consistent, and it will silence your critics. I'm going to say it again. Consistency builds credibility, and it silences your critics. I was so used to seeing people show up on social media, post a few times, and then they'd disappear, to the point that I was a critic. I'd see them show up, I'd roll my eyes, they'd be like selling, I don't know, what do people sell? Lipstick. Okay, I don't know, skincare, hair stuff, who knows? I'd see them show up, they'd start posting for a while, and I was like, whatever, give them 4 months, they'll be on to something else. I was used to seeing people show up for a hot second, have a party, and disappear. And then someone else would show up, do a couple things, disappear. It was so rare that I ever saw someone show up selling something on social media and see it through all the way to success. So I decided I was going to be that girl. I had never heard the quote that consistency builds credibility. I just determined, hey, if I just keep showing up and I push past 4 months, that was my goal. Can I last 4 months? I was like, I want to show them that I'm going to see this through. I'm not going to be flaky about it. I'm going to treat it like a business. I'm going to see it through all the way to completion. So do you think I get criticized much right now? At least not that I know of. It's very rare that someone reaches out to me and they're like, do you know you're part of a scam? They can't say that. I've proven them wrong. Like there's really nothing people can say, right? Because my consistency has built my credibility. They've seen for 7.5 years, Krista's still showing up, talking about products and a company that she loves. And number 10, it's time to get our eyes off ourselves. This circles back to number 1 about your love walk. If your eyes are on you, it's not going to be as easy or fulfilling. When your eyes are on others, who cares what people say? Just keep going out there, living out loud, making a difference, thinking about who is on the other side of your screen. Like that shifts everything. Do that the next time you go to post. Imagine in your heart people who need this. They might be completely imaginary. That's okay. Picture that mama. Picture the college student who needs more energy and better mental clarity while they're studying for exams. Picture the dad that hates his job and would love to pursue his passion but can't because he's stressed out to provide for his family. Like I'm getting emotional. That's what I want you to do. And then post from that space that says, audience on social media, I love you and I see you and I have something that could completely change your life. Silence the critics, show up in love, and watch what God will do. Love you guys.